Alright, what's up you guys? Playing the Best Bet 500. This is the final tournament of my big trip. It's been a wild ride so far, but yeah, so this first break, really good start. Got a double up pretty quick. I had like, I think 10-7 in the big blind, flops like 9-6, and I think I spiked the 8 on the turn to have the nuts. I check and it went bet on the turn, and I ended up check raising pretty big because there's a flush draw, and obviously I can lose the higher straights. So thankfully they both called actually. The river bricks out, and I rip it in. It was a big overbet jam, but I did it into this one lady that I knew was pretty soft, and I knew she could probably call a lot lighter. She did have like a pretty crappy 2-pair, so it's not the best call for her, but I mean I jammed like, I don't know, 18K into $6,000 pot or something, so I think it was a good play by me to get max value for my nuts. And I was thinking about it, it's like this whole trip I felt like I haven't been getting like the best boards, but thankfully that was like the first time I think I actually had the straight up nuts. I had quad 10s, I think that was the only other time I had the straight up nuts on the board, but so it's been, like I said, it's been a rough trip. So yeah, starting stacks 20K, I got up to 48K, 49K. Then I just kind of went on a couple bad run of not great boards and not playing perfectly. There was one kind of misstep by me. I had ace jack, flopped a jack, but it was kind of a wet board, like a lot of bad turn cards can come. It was multi-way, and I decided to down bet it, which I knew that was a big mistake going that way. And lo and behold, they both called with 2 backdoors, and they both hit both backdoors. One person hit 2-pair, and the other person hit a nut straight. So that just proved how bad of a bet that was for me. I really needed to almost pot it to get both those people to fold. But have some tricky players at my table. Actually, there's a couple cash game players, which I know they can play some wild hands sometimes. A couple of ladies they look like soft people, but they've been playing back at me a lot. But yeah, just a couple rough hands, like raising with like ace queen of hearts, 3-betting ace queen of hearts from the small blind, getting 2 callers, and then the flops just complete opposite and having to pretty much give up. So been pretty rough, but let's get going. All right, on second break here at the Best Bet 500. Not good right now, only 10 big blinds. That was a roller coaster for sure. There's too many hands to talk about. I'm not gonna remember all of them, but basically, I had one hand, I had jack 9, and I had hit a 9 with hearts. I was playing them aggressively, and the guy ended up bluffing 5s. He thought I had just a missed flush draw, so I played him aggressively, and it worked for me. That got me up to 60K, 60, something like that, and then I won a couple more, got up to 65K, 67, I think was my high.
What'd you bluff me with?
I didn't bluff, man, I swear. I had an ace. I
hit the river with the, I thought you got dimes. I hit the river with an 8. I shouldn't.
Oh, you're good.
I fucking with it.
Yeah, and then that guy just reminded me of a one hand. I over-limped ace 10 on the button, and the flops ace king. I had ace 10 offsuit. I'm not a huge fan of raising that, especially when there's an under the gun 1 limper. I mean, you can raise that. I think over limping's okay. But small blind led 2 streets into me, and then he checked river. I jammed 18K into 25K, so that was a big pot. And then like the very next hand, I had ace 9 with the ace of clubs. The flops 7, 9, deuce, 2 clubs. So I have top pair. He just happened to have a set, so I got a little too aggressive, I think overly aggressive, but with the ace of clubs, I think it was fine. He ended up betting turn. It was a fucking phenomenal bet. He bet 8K into 9K, which was like a huge, obviously, bet. I just thought he was full of shit, so he made the perfect bet, and it got me to check jam. The reason what I was thinking was he was under the gun 1, and I was on the big blind when I called, so the board texture, I think the turn was like 8 or something, so there's straight cards out there. I'm thinking this is a great board for the big blind range, and not great for the under the gun one range, so he can be bluffing with so many hands there. Unfortunately, I had the ace of club blocker, so he's not bluffing flush draw, so that might have hurt me, that read. But basically, I ended up check jamming turn, and he had a set of sevens, so that was a bit of a misstep. Maybe I overplayed it, so that hurt me down to like 28K, and then I think I won another hand. I got up to like 40K. I think I switched those two hands around, back up to like 40K, and then the last big hand, there's a raiser. I just flatted on the button with Jack 8 of hearts, raised from the hijack. Brand new player, I didn't know him. Flops Jack 8 7. It goes check check. Comes to me. I try to go a little bigger. I should have gone a little bigger, but I went like 5.5 into about 8, 7, 8. He calls, the turn's a 10, and he checks. So there's basically, if you have a 9, you have a straight. He checked, and I bet like 10K into 16K or something like that. So I was trying to freeze him and set the price for the river, but it just backfired horribly because he jammed on me and I had a muck. So I'm down to, I lost a couple of smaller hands too, just missing boards completely. So I'm down to 10 bigs right now, 16K, which is not good. So hopefully I get some doubles here.
All right, just got back home sweet home in Detroit. I'm just reviewing my hands from the last week, and overall I'm pretty happy with my play. I definitely felt like I was coolered a little bit more than I was coolering other people. You know, had kings cracked by ace king, had aces cracked by kings, and I only had the nuts maybe twice the entire trip. So you got to get lucky to win poker tournaments, and I didn't feel like luck was exactly on my side. Other than that, I think I picked my spots, and a couple of them were good plays, and a couple of them were just like poorly timed and making a play into a better hand. So that's all right. But overall, I had a great time on the trip, had good food, good drinks, hung out by the pool, the beach, hung out with friends. So very good time overall, even though I lost a lot of money. But had a good time. I'm looking forward to doing this again in the fall, heading out to Vegas. So I'll look forward to that as well. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.